Fish are moved and fish are gone. Stay tuned. Hey, what's going on YouTube? Adam C here. Thanks for watching. So this is the 125 in the garage fish room. You're used to seeing the Buccochromis rhodociliello group in here, but now you see the Mylochromis spilostichus group. And you can also see they do not enjoy my camera. They're not normally this skittish, but when I get the camera out and I start, I guess, making noise, I guess they can hear me, they kind of start freaking out for a bit. But anyway, you may be wondering why this group isn't here and what happened to the Buccochromis group. Well, I did some rearranging, and not as far as tanks, I mean as far as fish. The Buccochromis rhodociliello, those are one of the favorite fish that I've ever kept, and I really hated to keep them out here in the garage where I didn't see them as often, or when people are over. The tank by the bar is where these Mylochromis were, and I really wanted to have the Buccochromis in there so they're more visible. I can keep an eye on them better and see how they're doing. So I moved the Mylochromis spilostichus out here, and this 125, where I still see them plenty, but they get kind of a bit more privacy that I think they do better with. They don't do as well with people walking by all the time, you know, looking at them, tapping on the glass, stuff like that. Not that that happens a lot inside, but they seem to enjoy the tank out here to themselves where they're not disturbed as much. You can see, even with just me out here, they still kind of hang out in the corner, and they still look great. There's no question about that. But I just wanted to mix things up. So you may be wondering how the Buccochromis doing and what happened to the Malawi trout group that I had. So let's go check out the tanks on the inside. Here's the Buccochromis rhodociliello group. Male's getting some really nice color to him. He's probably 6 inches. The rest are in the, I don't know, 4.5 to 5.5 inch range. Got a nice tank to themselves here. It's a 125. Still no breeding. Hopefully breeding to come soon, but you know, these fish get really large, so it takes them a little bit longer as far as size until they are, you know, until they start breeding. But he looks really good. So I don't probably even need to say it, but you can see that the Malawi trout aren't in here either, which is where they were before. And if we swing to the left, you can see the 220. No Malawi trout in there. And that's because I sold the Malawi trout group. What I was doing in this tank is I was doing a dual breeding group of Malawi trout and the Mylochromis, and it was working pretty well for the most part. I mean, there was no crossbreeding or anything like that. The Mylochromis bred with, you know, each other, and the trout hung to themselves as far as breeding. But it started turning into a situation where the male Mylochromis and the male trout, all they did anymore was focus on each other and fighting each other for territory, and they quit paying attention to the females completely. So breeding almost came to a dead stop when I had those two groups in here. So a decision had to be made. Get rid of one of the two groups or buy another 125, and I was not going to add another 125 gallon tank. So with the Mylochromis being much more difficult to locate, being much more rare, I sold the trout, which I don't really regret doing. I kind of had to do it, so kept the Mylochromis, and now the Mylochromis breed nearly weekly. So I think that decision ended up paying off in the long run. So going forward, if you don't see the Malawi trout, the Champsochromis corallius, that is the reason why. And I am focusing purely on breeding these Buccochromis rhodociliello and the Mylochromis spilostichus macacola reef. And as you saw before, I got those Buccochromis heterotania. Hopefully I can grow those up and get them breeding as well. But again, that's a long way in the future, and that's going to require an additional tank. So thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed, go ahead and like and subscribe. Plenty more to come, and I would appreciate it. See you guys next time.